Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, and that's right. The 101 Dalmatians review marathon has begun, leading up to Cruella. So that's right. Let's get started with, of course, the animated 101 Dalmatians film, as we all know and love, from 1961. Just let's get right into it. So, I totally had forgotten how much of a good film this is. The animated film is such a great film, and I say definitely one of Disney's gems. Don't you think? I don't see why not. Everything about this movie is great, and as we all know, this is based off of a book by the same name. And I apologize, but I forget the author's name. But yeah. So everything about this film is great, from the animation, the characters, the story, the music, you name it. And I think this was this was like the first Disney film to introduce something. What that was, that basically photo op or just something to add in, more puppies and that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I forget what it is. But yeah. But with the story itself and the characters, like, of course, Pongo and Roger, they it's all Pongo who gets Roger and Aneta Aneta. I apologize, but however you pronounce her name, they get together and such, and so does especially Pongo and Perdita. Oh, God, I'm sorry, but having trouble pronouncing that name. Ugh. But anyways, so yeah, they get especially for Roger and Annetta, they get married, of course, and actually, because with, of course, the main villain, Cruella, what is not to love of Cruella? And actually, in this film, Cruella was Annetta's old schoolmate, classmate or whatever, and in the live action version, it's a bit different, which we'll get to that later. And of course, Roger, he is a songwriter and trying to come up with a new song, and he gets the tune, but is trying to figure out the words. But with Cruella de Vil, he gets it. It comes to him, Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil, if she doesn't scare you, da 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 da. Yeah, that song. Yeah, and also the nanny. Yeah, she's pretty good in this too. And also Corella's henchmen, Jasper and Horace, they're good too. And actually, Jasper, voiced by Pat O'Malley, he has two roles in this. The other character, which we'll get to in a sec. Horace, played by Frederick Warlock, yeah. Voiced by Frederick Warlock, I mean, I gotta say voice. And also, like, in this, we get a brief of this, Thunderbolts. The puppies love to watch, they love to watch the show that stars Thunderbolt, and Dirty Dawson, who's, I'm looking at it on the tablet, voiced by Paul Frees. So, we don't really get that much of Dirty Dawson's voice, I guess. Like, we hear him laugh, and maybe he has a few lines, but I can't remember. Some of the puppies, like, there's Rolly, Lucky, Patch, Penny, Spotty, yep, and, especially, like, say, Lucky, because he's named Lucky because he was this close to be dead. Like, they thought he was dead, but Roger revives him by, 15 puppies, And Patch, like, if I remember correctly, Patch is the main star of, the sequel to 101 Dalmatians, which we'll get to that later on, so. Yeah, and of course, Jasper and Horace, they do go in and they capture all 15 puppies. It's on the newspapers, the news, etc. And Pongo does the dog alert. Get all the dogs' attention, because all the puppies are missing. And we do get brief appearances of, say, characters from Lady and the Tramp. Jacques, Peg, Trusty, and Lady and the Tramp. So, yeah, and, it's like, it's like, say, the Disney characters would be called in for having a cameo or just something, you know what I'm saying? So, and so, as the dog alert gets passed on and on and on, we then come to some of the characters. We Towser and the goose. Yeah, the goose. Is it on there? Where's the goose? Again, I've got it on the tablet, so I don't think so. I don't think so. No. But anyways, okay. So, and then we come to I like these characters, especially one, because Towser, he passes on the dog alert, like barks it out to the Colonel, who he too is voiced by Pat O'Malley. So Pat O'Malley voices both the Colonel and Jasper. So Jasper is the tall, skinny one, while Horace is the fat and short one. So So the Colonel, who's the dog, and the two other characters, the Captain, who is a horse, voiced by Thurl Ravenscroft, and Sergeant Tibbs, voiced by David. What was it? David Frankham, yeah, and he had a role in an episode of Star Trek: The Original Series. I forget what the episode was, but that's all. But he was in the original series of Star Trek, so Anyways, so yeah, and so and nearby the farm and such, and with the Colonel, Captain, and Sergeant Tibbs, is like the DeVille Mansion or something. And that's when like Colonel and Sergeant Tibbs they go off and find the puppies. Sergeant Tibbs goes in, he finds the puppies, along with a bunch of other Dalmatians, and actually, because from there on, Sergeant Tibbs and Colonel, they help save the puppies, and that's when the dog alert, like the message, that the puppies have been passed back to, with Pongo and such, Pongo and Perdita, they go off to where their kids are at, and and also Sergeant Tibbs, he's very brave and heroic. He stays close with the puppies. He remains with them, even when Jasper and Horace, they're this close to beating the crap out of them or whacking them or something. You know what I'm saying? What a brave and just heroic cat. And so Pongo and Perdita. I hope I'm saying that right. They come in, they save the pups, and Colonel and Sergeant they help as well. They're all reunited and such, along with all the other puppies, that now become their children. Sergeant Tibbs, the Colonel, and Captain, they hold up Horace and Jasper as all the Dalmatian family escape. The last thing that they do. Jasper has, the Captain, he pulls his ears, fire one! The back of his legs kick Jasper and Horace into the wall, break through the hole, causing holes, whatever. And, Jasper and Horace, they see the pups escape, and yeah, that's the last thing that all three of them do. Colonel, Captain, and Sergeant Tibbs. That's the last we see of them, so their work is done. And the film continues on with the pups and the Dalmatians. You get the idea. Yeah. And there's another, and also they go to another farm with cows, and another dog. And there's another dog who joins with the Dalmatians as they're about to escape, get on a truck. It's a black dog. And the Dalmatian family, they disguise themselves as black dogs, but it doesn't really work out. Jasper and Horace are there. Corella's there, of course. And this film is one of those very few Disney films where there's a car chase. It might be the only one. I'll have to go back and look. I can't remember, but, probably this one, the only one. And what's really cool is that, and, even looking at Doug Walker's review of this, Disney-cember, he establishes this pretty good. He's definitely right on this. As Corella's chasing the truck, her car is, stripping. Parts of it are breaking off. It's it's looking vicious and a monster, you know what I'm saying? Just like Corella is with the eyes, just complete psychopath, trying to crash the truck and everything else. And, Jasper and Horace, they're in their car too, and all three of them, they crash and just, they're defeated, and just Corella's upset, you fools, and Jasper, he doesn't care, he just says, "Ow, shut up," That's funny. And, later on, we cut back to Roger, the other two, and, Roger's song of Cruella de Vil, it became a big hit it became a big hit, and, good for them. And all the Dalmatians, they return along with the new members of the family, which makes it 101. So, and Roger says that, they will live in a big place, with all the puppies, just you name it. So 101 Dalmatians is such a good Disney animated feature, and I'd say, again, as I said earlier, I think definitely one of their gems. There's no denying that. So I give this 10 out of 10. I think it's really good. And, because another thing is, probably my favorite character in this film has to be Sergeant Tibbs. Because, there's just something about Sergeant Tibbs that, he's such a good character and a good cat, good kitty. Because what I described, Sergeant Tibbs, he's, very brave and such, and, sure, every times he would get scared off, by Jasper and Horace, but he also is very brave, staying with the puppies, even as Jasper and Horace, as I was just describing, as I was explaining, so, and I just love it because, how he speaks and just, yes, sir, roger, sir, right away, sir, just, yeah. Yeah, and David Frankham, he pulled off, definitely the voice of Sergeant Tibbs in this, so, definitely. But anyway, so, again, I give this 10 out of 10. It's such a good film, and I think one of Disney's gems. So, and you guys let me know what you think of 101 Dalmatians. If you enjoy it, leave comments as always. Again, I enjoy it, so, So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. The 101 Dalmatians marathon has begun. Stay tuned for reviewing the live-action version. So again, 10 out of 10 for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next video /review. Take care, and peace out.